afternoon, everyone. This is Lolly. Welcome back to my channel. I had another crafty dream last night, and so I want to play around with what I was dreaming about. I was dreaming about laminating napkins, and this one here happens to be tissue paper, but I found it and thought I should laminate that as well. So I wanted to laminate napkins and make a journal cover out of it. So here's what I did. I just started playing around, and I did also have some legal size laminating sheets, and that was helpful because napkins are rather large. I still had to trim off a section on one end, and for most of the napkins I tried to get them down to one layer. This particular one, I couldn't tell if it was just really thick material or if it really was more than one layer, but I tried tape and everything and I could not get that any thinner than what it was, so I assumed it's just a thick napkin. I got one layer off, but that was it. And then I put scraps there. I have this Hello Kitty one. This one I did not take all the layers off. I only took one off because if you take all the layers off, it's very translucent and no white background. So this one I will be careful to cut and leave a border all the way around it because it's thicker than the other napkins. Some of them, when I got them down to one layer, even though it is very translucent, on these ones, I think I'm going to cut right on the edge of the napkin and see how that does, because many have been saying they haven't had any problem at all with the layer, anything, and no separation on the lamination when it's a napkin. And you can see where I'm putting all my scraps there. There's another one. And I had to cut the scrap off because it was too wide to fit in here. This one I was very disappointed in. You can see as it fed through, it got stuck because this somehow curled under and then it just folded over on itself. So I'm going to see if I have my flat iron here heating up, and I'm going to see if I can't flatten this out a little bit without it looking really hideous. The other option would be to sandwich it in paper and heat it on very low on your home iron. That's another option. So let's just trim this down so that my flat iron can get in there, and we'll see. This is an experiment on YouTube. I really like this napkin, and I wanted this side to be the cover, and then that happened. So I have this flat iron that I bought just for crafting. I have it on its lowest setting. I'm going to see. It is helping. Oh, much better. It still has crinkles in it, and I might still just go with it, you know, and use it because I just like this so much. And I don't want to waste this, so we'll see when I get around to using that one. Okay, I'm going to turn that off and set that here to cool. All right, so let's play around. I'll set this one aside for now. And I want to start with this one, this Paris one. I'm going to cut this right on the very edge of the napkin and see how it does. And I did try to trim these napkins on my paper trimmer, but I have the kind you actually roll the blade over, and so in order for it to cut these, I had to sandwich the napkin between two sheets of printer paper, and that was the only way I could get it to cut the napkin. Okay, now I could do two things. I could fold this over and crease it, and I could make basically like a signature of papers and stitch them inside. And I think I just might do that with this one. Let me get my scoreboard. I have this little one right here that I think might be big enough for this. Let's see the overall size of this. It's not quite even. So let me, it's not a really good number. So I'm just going to crease it here to see where the middle is and put that right there. Then I just put my crease right up there so I can see it. There we go. Oh, perfect. Now see, here's what I don't like about bone folders. There's all round edges. I don't like that. I want a nice flat surface to do the burnishing. I don't like curvy. Okay, that is really cute. I'm loving this a lot. Okay, so I'm going to do that one. And I think for the sake of this video, I'm going to limit myself to just a couple of them right now. And I think I will do one of these. And this one, what I want to do is actually cut the front and back into separate pieces. I could have done this on the paper trimmer, duh. Actually, this is a test here. Let's see how well this, does it separate? No, it's doing good. Oh, it did separate. Here's the test right there. So what we can do is use this anyway. Let me cut this open. That was a test. If you don't break your napkin down into one layer, it will separate like this. So let me do this, and we'll use a single layer. Okay, so on this one, obviously this side here is going to have the white on it, but you can always stamp on this and do something with it. This one now has one sheet of laminate and nothing on this side but napkins. So there's a couple options. One is you can put dies on here and run it through your die cut machine and cut out shapes. Or you could put self-adhesive laminating sheet on this side to toughen it up, and I think that's what I'm going to do. Okay, so what I need to do, though, is I'm not going to work over paper. If you're new to my channel, I usually put this piece of paper down here to brighten up the area. Otherwise, it's hard for you to see what I'm doing. But right now, we need to remove this so that I could put the self-adhesive laminating sheet on that, and I need one big enough. So I have the plain side up, and I just gently sort of bend this in the middle and then go outward like that. Okay, now I have this bone folder from Dress My Craft, and it is their Ergo bone folder, and I love that it has this nice large surface for burnishing. Perfect. Now all I need to do is trim this off. If you have good sharp scissors, all you have to do is get it started and then push it all the way up. I'm not even sawing with my scissors, I'm just pushing it. That's the benefit of good sharp paper scissors. These ones are titanium ones from Scotch. So yes, you could also just do self-adhesive laminating sheets on both sides of this. You don't need to do the heat laminate on a napkin. You can do the self-adhesive for those of you who don't have the laminator. So now I have this, and I want to cut sizes for my cover. And keep in mind that these are not like chipboard covers. These are going to be soft, flexible covers. I'm just thinking here. Oops, there's my last project. Right there. Okay. Oh, wait, how wide is this? This is 8 inches. Okay, so let's do a 4x4 cover. Or, no, let's do a 4x6. Okay, so now I have two 4x6s, and we are going to use that for my cover. Isn't that cute? Very pretty. So we have this one, and we have this one. There we go. So we're going to do 2 of these. This one we're going to make the signatures to go inside. So when I open this, my pages need to be, I don't want them to be the full length, which would be a little over 9.5. I want them to be smaller, so I'm going to make them about 9 or 9.25 by 4 3/4. Okay, I have some plain, it's a good quality printer paper, and this is white. This is what I use when I'm printing off to make buttons or flare. And I have just cut some various papers in the same size. And with some of the leftovers, I'm going to do the same thing, only make a pocket on them. Turn that. So I said they were 9 1/4, and then when I turn it this way, I want 4 3/4 to go this way. And this is paperweight here, so I'm not going to be really scoring that hard. Burnish that. Now I have a pocket. I'm going to do the same thing with this one. 4 3/4. It doesn't matter how long it is. It ends up being 7 1/4. It doesn't matter. I'm just making this pocket. This is what matters, is how far in I score that. Okay. Actually, I want to see. Let's go ahead and look at how much this ends up being. I think what I want, oh, this is going to have, I didn't realize that. It's double-sided. I don't think I want to use that because it doesn't look right on the other side. Okay, let's find something else. So we've got this. I think I want white to be on the outside because when you're looking through this, I don't want to see any patterns like this through it. I could, but I don't want to. So I'm putting white on the outside. And then another one of these. And then, let's see. Just trying to see how thick that is. I think that's about right. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of these. When I fold them in half, that will be 16, right? So what I want to do is I'm going to lightly score one of these so I can see 9 1/4. So that's half of 9 is 4 1/2. So I'm going to go to 4 1/2 and move 1 notch over to account for the extra 1/4 of an inch. Is that right? Yes. So that was 4 5/8. And that is going to show me where to stitch. Well, I have misplaced my bookbinding guide, so I am going to do this. I just cut a piece of paper to match the 4 3/4. Okay. I'm going to mark the center. Be 2 3/8, I believe. Well, you know what? All I have to do is fold that in half to find the center. Duh. There. Ta-da. Now, oh, that was an easy fix. I'm going to measure in maybe 3/4 from this side and 3/4 from this side. And that is going to help me with my placement here. But I think I need to clamp these. Oh, and the other thing I like to do is always I mark which end is up. Now we need our awl or our pokey tool. Okay. And this is why I marked which end is up. I've got to center this in here because remember, this is not the same height as my cover. I made my cover bigger. There we go. Okay, now we need some twine or waxed linen. I think I'm going to use this, which is kind of a dark green. So I'm going to leave enough to tie from the middle, and I'm going to go to the right, to the left, to the middle, and leave enough to tie. And get my tapestry needle out. Make sure I've got this right side up, meaning the pockets are facing the right way. I'm going to go down the middle and find my holes. There we go. I'm going to leave enough to tie and then come up the top or the bottom, doesn't really matter, all the way over, up through the middle again, and this time when I come up, I'm going to come up on the other side of my long one. When you pull your strings, pull them the direction that they were already going. Don't pull them back the way you came. Do a square knot. Okay, let's give us a nice crisp. Oh, I think it's beautiful. I love that it's flexible. That's what we have there. Let's go ahead and cover up these. Okay, I just cut out circles this time. I'm going to pretend these are macarons. Using the Eileen's tacky glue and a tiny attacher. Try to get right over that cord. Here we go. And I just had one more thought. When I was at the Cheese Importers, I picked up these macaron matching game, and I wanted to use one here as sort of like a tag inside one of the pockets. There's a pumpkin since fall is coming, but I'm thinking in order to do this, what I should do is to glue this particular pocket shut. Not all the pockets. I could have glued them. I didn't. So let's go ahead and do that. Get a little notch there. Okay, let's glue that. I'm using liquid glue so the pocket will dry and not remain gummy. Okay, should have glued this before I assembled everything. This is Institute's Art Glitter Glue. Okay, so now I can put that in there. Should I punch a hole in the top and put, I think I should. I'm going to punch a hole in the top and put a little bit of ribbon in there. I might use the big one. So that is the 3/16 inch punch. And let me just stick a quick ribbon in here. Okay, I'm going to use a little bit of organza. Maybe we'll use this green because I figure this will give it a nice pumpkin-y look. That will be the pumpkin stem maybe, huh? And the backs of these are really cute too. It's got the little Eiffel Tower there. There we go. Now when I put that in there, it's sticking out and you could see it and get to it really easily. You could put a sentiment on the back there. So there you go. That is a napkin journal, laminated napkin. I love the translucency. I love the flexibility. This video has gotten a bit long, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to save this one for part 2. So stay tuned. Keep your eyes peeled for the next couple days and I will upload part 2.